This was an incredible event.
And I highly recommend Roofr.
And I'm so excited today. This is Spotlight by Roofr. I'm the host, TJ McCormack, and I'm here today with somebody who I am glad that I finally get to interview live on social media here. For those of you who don't know, this is RooferGirl, Samantha De Catao. If I just destroyed your name, I'm sorry.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, why don't you give us a little bit of an introduction of who you are and how you got started in the roofing industry. And for those that don't know you, talk a little bit about your social media.
Okay. Well, my name is Samantha Decoto. I'm the owner. Yeah, Decoto. Yeah, a lot of people pronounce it wrong, so it's okay.
Right.
But I'm the owner and operator of Summit Sisters Roofing, and I've been in the roofing industry for 10 years. I've actually been into trades for 12. And before I started roofing, I was doing drywalling and steel stud framing, and I did that for 2 years. And eventually I found myself roofing, and I don't know what it was about roofing, but I absolutely fell in love with it, and I stuck to it. And it worked out so good for me because then I became RooferGirl.
Right, no doubt. So let's talk about RooferGirl, if you will. And I'm sorry, it looks like I have some sort of drag today. I don't know why I've got a drag. But you have about 330,000 followers here on Facebook, and then you have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have YouTube. Tell us a little bit about that following and how you built that.
Well, it started with, just being involved in the roofing groups on Facebook. And I wanted to be, to feel like I belonged where I was. So, in the roofing groups, they share pictures and, of their work and whatever. And when I was doing that, I would have a lot of people come criticize me and, tell me to get back in the kitchen or go make me a sandwich and whatever. And I'm like, I was so shocked, honestly, to see how it was. And eventually I just, screw you guys. I started my own page, and I wasn't really expecting my page to blow up the way it did, but I'm glad I did. And now I just kind of use my platform to empower and inspire women through roofing because, a lot of women give up on their trades or, they're too scared to try it out because of stuff like that. And, lack of confidence and thinking they're not capable of doing a job like this. So
I'm looking forward to talking a little bit more about that as we go on in this conversation. But, tell us how you became RooferGirl, or, your beginning portion. A lot of people know how I became world's greatest roofer. When you first started it, did you think that you were going to have a following like you do today?
No, I've never expected roofing to change my life the way it did. When I started roofing, I didn't even know anything about roofing. A lot of people think that I grew up, it was in my family and my dad's a roofer and my whole family are roofers, but I was the first roofer in my family. And actually my brothers are roofers because of me. So they all work for me at some point. And one of my brothers actually has his own company too now. But no, I never expected to, for it to be this big of a thing in my life. I didn't think I was going to have my own company. I didn't think I was going to be a well-known roofer. I never expected any of this. So
yeah, no doubt. It's incredible to see your growth. I know that we've both been on a track for that growth for a while now, but it's incredible to see how fast you're growing daily, especially here on Facebook. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn and YouTube right now. So tell me, how important is it to you to continue to empower women like you do?
To me, it's really important because I've been there too, where I felt like I didn't belong. And, I see I read all these stories, and I get even messages, emails from women telling me how my videos or my posts or how I've inspired them to keep pushing through, like, and whether if it's like roofing or, some other trade out there. And, it's good to know that, I inspired them and motivated them to continue. And, I'm so glad I did, because it was so life-changing for me. And I kind of want other women to feel how I felt. And like, I feel great. Like, I feel so empowered. I feel strong, and, I make good money. So I want other women to have that too.
That's awesome to hear. We've got several comments, but Matt Mulholland, yeah, you know Matt, maybe you don't, but he says, "Are Canadian roofers just better?" They don't use underlayment there. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's not like that all over Canada. A lot of people think we don't use it's like that in Ontario, but I'm from Alberta, and every roof I've done out there, we've always had to use underlayment. It's just in Ontario, they have like different codes out here, and minimum code is just, 3 feet of ice and water from the eaves and in the valley, and that's it.
And then the rest is just decking and field shingles, huh?
Yeah, and
that's so crazy.
It's mostly the builders who want it like that. So like all the new houses that are coming up.
Yeah, that's crazy. It looks like so another question I was going to ask you is about running an all-woman crew, and you've done that a few times. And somebody just said something about having an aspiration for a whole crew of women on their roofs. How is that working with all women?
You know how women are. Sometimes it gets crazy, but then there's other times where you just, you feel so awesome, and you feel like sisters, and, sisters fight, sisters make up, they get along. And it's, there's times where I had like all the girls on the roof, and we've had people who stop, even little girls walking by, they would stop and they would watch us, see all us girls in our pink gear, and they would stop and watch us, just little girls walking down the streets with their parents, and they would just stop and watch us. They would wave at us, and, that's such a good feeling.
Yeah. That I can only imagine what you guys get to feel like. I mean, there's a whole bunch of dudes usually on roofs, so I've been on hundreds, if not thousands, of roofs where it's just all men, and maybe there's one woman, but on roofing crews, if there is a woman, she's busting her ass, and it's a great sight to see, because a lot of times a lot of those dudes are just lazy. But I was actually watching something this morning where I saw a female roofer who was getting, some bad comments or publicity on her social media, talking about, they probably just don't know what it's like to be a woman roofer and be able to do all the same things men can do. But I have a question that I typically ask in every one of these spotlights, and I'm going to put you on the spot here. And I'm going to ask you this question, but it's just a fill in the blank. And it's the question is roofing is blank. What is that blank to you? Roofing is blank.
Well, roofing is pretty much everything to me. Like, roofing made me who I am, and roofing changed my life. And like, if I didn't have roofing, like, the way I'm talking about it, but it is so sentimental to me, because when I started roofing, that's when, everything changed about me, like how I felt about myself, my confidence and everything. Like, my whole life changed, and I felt like I became a better mom. I felt like I, became a better person. And it was
let's talk about that. You're not just the only one in your family that roofs. Your husband, doesn't he roof with you, or does he have his own crew?
Yeah, we've been roofing together for 9 years now. We actually met on the roof, and he pretty much taught me everything I know about roofing. Like, he taught me how to shingle, taught me how to do my metal work, and he was a big part of that too. Like, that's what I mean. Roofing is like everything. That's how I met my husband, and that's how I am where I am right now. That's how I met you.
That is how you met me, and thank God we met, because I'm so thankful to have a friend like you. Let's talk about that real quick. Have you won any awards for roofing or being a woman roofer?
Yeah, I've got some awards. It was Beacon's finalist for Roofing Professional of the Year, and there was another one that I got, Woman in Business in Niagara, and also got Woman of the Year from Roof at the Grace and Grind conference. Sorry, I just have to look at
Oh,
it.
nice.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
no doubt.
yeah.
Grace
So I
and
got a
Grind
few awards.
was a
Yeah,
great conference there, wasn't it? I think that was in Dallas, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
tell me something. What is the best part about being a social media kind of celebrity to you? This is gonna be like a two-part question, but what's the best part about it?
The best part about it is, I feel like I have, you know, I feel like I have a lot of support, especially when I want to give back to people. So I have a lot of people that connect with me when I want to give back. And um, to me, that's just awesome. So like if I want to go fix somebody's roof or whatever for free, and then I have, I have so many people who step in and just want to support that. So that's definitely, a big thing for me. And another thing is, I get free tools. I can't complain.
Yeah, we were gonna get to that question here in a minute, but I definitely love your line out or your tools that you support and that you get and that you use in your videos. But here's the question that I really want to take a dive into, and that's what's the worst part about being a social media celebrity? Like I know the hate that sometimes that I get, and I see the stuff that you get as well, and I know that it has to affect you because it affected me too. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I know that we've tried to learn how to overcome some of those people that are just having a horrible day or a horrible life in general.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the worst part about being a social media celebrity.
That literally is the worst part, is when you get the negative comments, and a lot of people just say, let it go, they're just jealous of you and whatever. But sometimes it does affect you, like deep down inside. Like sometimes it does hurt you, and sometimes it kind of screws with your mood. But sometimes I just ignore the comments. Like I end up not reading them because it's just easier for me that way. But then I have people who target like how I look. If they're not talking about my work, they're talking about my appearance. So like I've been called fat so many times to the point where I'm just like, I'm on a fitness craze right now. And don't get me wrong, I feel awesome. Like, thank you for that. So,
Yeah, no
but
doubt.
yeah,
You know what? It's a horrible thing for people that are doing well online and then also doing well in life to have some hate from people who really don't know us or to know
yeah,
you in general. The people always said they're going to be haters, but it's really like they just don't understand what it is that we did to get to where we are, and you definitely kill it out there and deserve the love and attention that you do get. Let me ask you this: if you have an opportunity to give a piece of advice to someone ever wanting to get into the trades, or this two part, let's talk about the trades first, but then also social media, what would you tell them?
to get into the trades,
Yeah,
um, if I'm giving advice to another woman, it would just to be, don't get scared, and I think a lot of people always think about the what ifs. And that's the worst, because you always think, well, what if this happens? Or, and it scares people from doing things. So, just face your fears and just follow your heart, and, just do it.
yeah, for
The best
sure.
thing you can do.
Well, what about social media? I have my thoughts on this. I'll give mine in just a minute, but what about your thoughts?
On social media,
Yeah,
if I want to give advice for somebody to, start their own social media,
you're right.
um, I don't know, like I've given advice to the girls about it too, and I know some of them are doing good with really good with their following. Just same thing. Ignore the haters. Don't listen to the bad comments, and just keep doing what you're doing. Like keep making content. Keep up with
Yeah,
it. Also, I noticed another thing. Facebook doesn't like when you like tag so many people, and it
yeah.
brings down like your algorithm, and your views start going down and your follows. So don't do that. Don't tag so many people.
Yeah, it thinks that you're trying to artificially influence the algorithm.
Yeah.
And it's, the algorithm loves it when people organically do it
Yes,
themselves. Like the
exactly.
share, the likes, the follows, the comments, right? When Facebook or another social media platform shows it to people, that's when they want it to do it. I took that test one time before I did on TikTok, right? The
Hmm.
TikTok's where I'm the most famous. And people, I was like, I'm going to do a live broadcast. And I told people, all right, I'm going to post this video just as soon as I'm done on this live. And it was a great video and it got thousands of likes. But the algorithm shut it down. And it was the only people that saw that video were the people who rushed over to like that video as soon as I posted it. And it was because it wasn't organic and it
Yeah.
didn't feel organic to them. But my suggestion to people who want to get started on social media, I'm coming up on 3 years myself in December. Just do it. Stop worrying about what other people say. Stop worrying about how other people will feel
Yeah.
about what they do, and just do the damn thing and
Yeah. And
be consistent.
exactly. And I think like, the video that you least expect to get as many views or whatever ends up blowing up. There's that too. So like,
Yeah.
you least expect it.
It used to be that you had 5,000 chances for your video to do well. And now you have an endless amount of people who might be like-minded or like content that you put out. And that video will be shown to those people versus just friends now. But we've had some comments, and then we'll get into a couple more questions before we go. But somebody says, have we ever talked about the business side of roofing? I think with that we have. We've been at many conferences together and hung out plenty of times. One of our friends together mutually is the littlest roofer, Michelle, and she's also doing her thing on the social side. And then also Best Damn Roofer. Tell us about your relationship with Josh. I call him Josh. Everybody else calls him Lord Big Time, but Josh to me is a different person when it's just you and Josh. So tell us a little bit about that.
So Josh is actually the reason why we moved out to Ontario. And I feel like he's part of the reason why I, got that big following on my Facebook page and whatever, because I remember when I made my first viral video, Josh shared it on his page and it blew up, and and my follows went straight up, and I think he called it roofers with boobs.
That's hilarious. I mean, you have to, most people know Josh, the best damn roofer out there, and he's an actor in real life, but he's also a great business person. And let's talk about this. This was my next question anyways. Do you have any businesses that sponsor you that you would like to talk about that currently that are helping you or you're working together with?
So Primeline Tools, as everybody probably knows already, that they're my biggest sponsors, my biggest supporters. As soon as I moved out here, we instantly started collaborating. Actually, we collaborated a little bit before I moved out here. And it was quite a few years ago when I actually met Jamal at a roofing competition, and he already knew who I was, but I didn't know who he was. And my following on my page was really small at that time. And he shook his hand and everything. I didn't even know he was the owner of Prime Grip. And then I got a message from one of them, and they wanted to send me some stuff. And I was like, oh, cool. Okay. And, they just wanted to show that they appreciated me, that they saw me and whatnot. And then eventually, Josh called me, you want to come out here and work with me and Primeline Tools and collaborate? And I'm like, okay. So I moved from Alberta to Ontario, and now I'm their brand ambassador.
Nice. I know Jamal well, and I also get to speak to him often, as well as Josh, and I'm proud of Prime Grip and Primeline Tools in general for where they've come from and then where they're now going. And then let me ask this question. This is a hard question here. If you could start it all over today, is there something that you would do differently?
I get asked this all the time, and I don't know what to say because I feel like everything that I've done led me to where I am, and I'm pretty happy where I am. But if I could and still end up where I am, I would just, not try to rush things, because I feel like I just rushed a lot of things in my life, and then, it doesn't always work out that good. So that's what I wish it could change about myself, is if I didn't rush things and just took it easy, took my time, and things will happen when they're meant to happen, and just not to stress about it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask this question real quick of anybody that's watching. Is quite a few people watching right now. If you have a question for Samantha, throw it into the comments. I'm going to give you guys about a minute before I close. But you know what? Thank you so much today, Samantha, for being on Roofr Spotlight.
No problem.
I've been trying to find the best of the best out there, or the people that are doing it right, not just on social media, but in business. And we see you, and we're proud of you. But
thanks for having me.
I'm sure that we'll see in the near future. Somebody, I don't know who it was that just asked this, but they said, what do you feel you rushed exactly?
I rushed everything, like my whole life. Everything, like from starting my business to, a lot of personal things that went on in my life. I rushed a lot of it, and I just wish that I would have took things slower, and just rushing things that caused me a lot of stress because I wanted things to happen right now. And, I just feel like it would have been better if I just took my time through life and with my choices and stuff like that. So.
I felt like that about social as well. Like I wanted it now. I didn't want to wait. I could, I would go to bed, and I would, stay up most of the night just thinking about, my social media.
And that's what I mean. Like you obsess about things, and you get stressed out, and then you get anxiety. And now I try to slow down, and like, even with work, like we got to get this job done. No, we're going to work all day till we're 9 o'clock at night or whatever, and now I'm just like, if we don't finish today, then we're back tomorrow,
For sure. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to close it out, but if you can give me just 1 minute, I'll come back on. But thank you so much for being here again. And thanks for being an inspiration to all the women out there in the construction trades.
Thank you, TJ.
This was an incredible event.
And I highly recommend Roofr.